Hello and welcome. So the first video I wanted to touch base with was going to be healthy eating. Food to me is very important. I absolutely love food. I go to bed just so I can wake up and eat food. So with that being said, there's some things that you should know in order to have a healthy relationship with it. So you don't necessarily have to count as many calories if you're doing that, or feel like you have to deprive yourself of some delicious goodies out there. So, some things I wanted to do was cover 5 tips for healthy eating. The first one is going to be less is more. And by that, I don't mean less quantity of food. What I mean is less ingredients. The less ingredients it takes to make something, the better it is. It means it's in a more natural state, and you want to look at the back of the label and look at the nutritional content, and on there it'll state what goes into making the product. The more products, the more ingredients you find on there, the more processed it tends to be, unless those ingredients have come in its natural form. But once you start getting things processed and adding things that maybe you can't really pronounce the name of, I would question what you are eating. So just remember, the less ingredients, the better. You can also, uh, the second topic kind of touches base with the first topic, and it's less process. What you can do sometimes is just compile things together, like if you want to take, for example, pumpkin pie. If you want to maybe make your own pumpkin pie, instead of buying one that has a whole bunch of things on it that you may not need, because when somebody else is making the food for you, it kind of just goes with whatever they think is needed in there, and you may not need everything in there. For example, I found this recipe on pumpkin pie, and one of the recipes called for heavy cream, and another one called for either evaporated milk or condensed milk. And sometimes you just have to be aware of the things that maybe you're taking too much of, and kind of cut back on that, and maybe find healthier alternatives. Another tip that I find very useful is the three ratio rule, and by that I mean the balance in the food that you're eating. I like to have a carb, a protein, and whether it's either if it's breakfast or dinner time, lunchtime, I'll have a fruit or some kind of vegetable. And if you follow that rule in equal proportions, for the most part, so we're not cutting back on anything important, I would say that you are on a good path to eating healthier, and that's a start. Another one, which is really important, is water. Okay, so I can't emphasize this enough. Staying hydrated is so important for so many different reasons, and it just helps you feel so much better. And if you have had a little too much of something, it kind of just washes that away. And one way you can tell if you're getting enough water is going to be to look at your urine, and if it's on the clearer side, then that means you probably are getting enough fluids. When you start to see a little bit darker color, yellow, bright yellow, unless you've just taken some vitamins, that is not recommended. And I would go grab a glass of water and chug that right away. So one of the ways you can kind of keep up with your water intake is to maybe have a bottle of water and just kind of fill it up and see how often you're drinking it. And if you notice that it's still full after maybe 5 hours, it might be time to take a sip of that water. And then when you drink that water, refill that water. And repeat as often as needed, which would hopefully be 4 to 8 times a day if you are not already doing that. So, another one that I enjoy very much, which is the reason I wake up in the mornings, aside from my beautiful baby boy and husband and family and everything else going on in my life, is breakfast. Breakfast is very important. In the word itself, breaking the fast. You want to make sure that you're kind of revving up your metabolism in the morning. And if you're not a big eater, then I would say to start small, maybe a yogurt or like a glass of milk or a granola bar, a piece of fruit, something just kind of to get you going if you have a hard time eating. And all of these topics I will eventually touch base on a little bit more in detail, but I kind of just wanted to give you an overview, 5 simple tips you can start to follow right now, and then you're on the path to a healthier lifestyle. Thanks for watching.